over, the dust is settling in. But the jury is still out. Did the finance minister deliver a breakthrough union budget 2012? Or was it just an accountant's budget? The stock market seemed to like it. Industry, as always, is measured in its response and positive. But there's one group which will say as it has to be said and dissect it as it has to be. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this special post-budget analysis, the B-School style. I'm here at the SJM School of Management, IIT Bombay. And of course, I've got the other three top management schools from Mumbai, students from there as well, Jamnalal Bajaj, SP Jain and Narsi Monji. They will throw the questions to our very eminent panel here, Ajay Srinivasan, Chief Executive, Aditya Birla Group, and Keval Handa, Managing Director of Pfizer India. But let's set the ball rolling. I will go to the students in just a minute. Let me first get the reactions from Ajay. Ajay, 2 hits, 2 misses of this union budget.
Well, if I were to talk of the hits first, Manisha, I think the first I would talk about would be the stability in tax rates overall. And I think that's a good thing. We don't want tax rates to vary from year to year while broadening the base for tax. I think that's a good step forward. It's in keeping with the general direction that the government wants to do. I think that's a good move. I think the second move I talk about would be the overall emphasis on expenditure control while having some focused areas of spending. So you've seen infrastructure and social spending clearly getting focus, but overall there's some control on expenditure. You know, as you say, whether you believe it or not, that's a separate issue. But that's the way the budget is presented, which has led to a good number of 4.6% for fiscal deficit and the 3.43 lakh crores of government borrowing, all of which has really created this euphoria in the market because the market was expecting much worse than that. So I would say those are the two strong points. If I could add a third, I would talk about the direct cash transfer for subsidy. I think that's a major move. It's keeping with the finance minister's opening remarks, talking about governance and the efficiency of institutions being important to him. So I would say those three are big positives for me. If I were to look at negatives, I'd pick two. I'd pick one, the fact that although supply side was referred to several times in terms of dealing with inflation, especially food inflation, I think the amounts that have been actually set aside seem to be fairly small. And some of the things that are being talked about will take a fairly long time to have an impact on the supply side. So I think the supply side on agriculture, especially, I'm not sure enough has been done. Second, I think if you look at the current account deficit, we're running a fairly large current account deficit today in the country. And therefore, the quality of inflows to fund that deficit are obviously important. In that context, I think the emphasis and the mention of FDI seem to be fairly low in the overall context of the budget. I mean, there was a lot of expectation of a bit more liberalization on the FDI side, which clearly wasn't seen. So that would be my quick analysis.